David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, breaking news, the horrific synagogue attack. New video emerging, appearing to show the suspect buying $2,000 worth of fireworks just 2 days before ramming his truck into Temple, Israel. What we're now learning about his family members killed in Lebanon. The deadly shooting at Old Dominion University. The suspect, a convicted ISIS supporter, released from prison early. Sources tell ABC News a student fatally stabbed the attacker, and now the man accused of selling him the gun, now facing federal charges. Tonight, the Pentagon confirms 6 American service members killed when their refueling plane crashed in Iraq. The U.S. expanding the war, sending an additional 5,000 Marines and sailors to the Middle East. Ian Pannell in the region tonight. Also tonight, we're tracking back-to-back storms sweeping into the Northeast. Blizzard conditions, up to a foot of snow in some areas. A second storm right behind it. Lee Goldberg timing it out. Tonight, spring break travel heating up at America's airports. Many travelers seeing long lines at security checkpoints. TSA officers now going without paychecks, some lining up at airport food banks. Hundreds forced to quit their jobs. Dramatic video showing tourists rescued from a burning boat consumed by flames. Billy Joel's daughter giving an update on her father's health while he battles a brain disorder. And countdown to the Oscars, the history and surprises in store for Hollywood's biggest night.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, I'm Wade Johnson in for David. News tonight on the war in Iran. The 6 American service members killed in a plane crash. But we begin with breaking news and the new reporting in the horrific synagogue attack in Michigan. New video emerging, appearing to show the suspect buying $2,000 worth of fireworks just 2 days before ramming his truck into Temple, Israel. Late today, authorities describing a ferocious gunfight taking place inside the synagogue between the suspect and armed security guards. And what we're now learning about that suspect, a naturalized citizen from Lebanon, posting that his family members were killed during an Israeli airstrike in Lebanon last week. ABC's Alex Perez leads us off from Michigan with late details just coming in.
Tonight, the chilling new video appearing to show the man police say drove a truck full of explosives into one of the nation's largest synagogues, buying $2,000 worth of fireworks just 2 days before the attack. Phantom Fireworks, a 30-minute drive from Temple, Israel, tells us Ayman Ghazali loaded up his shopping cart, telling them the fireworks were for a celebration to mark the end of Ramadan, then wheeling that cart back out to his truck. 2 days later, authorities say Ghazali, armed with a semi-automatic rifle, plowed his truck into Temple, Israel, slamming through the front door and driving right down the hall. The attacker's path thwarted by security guards.
At approximately 12:20, Ghazali's vehicle gets jammed between hallway walls, and he begins firing through the windshield of his vehicle. Ghazali and the first security officer engage in a gunfight through the rear window of Ghazali's vehicle. At approximately 12:22 p.m., a second security officer engages Ghazali in a gunfight from the front of the vehicle. And soon thereafter, Ghazali's vehicle, his engine compartment, catches on fire. And at some point during the gunfight, Ghazali suffers a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.
Sources tell us the truck burst into flames, sending a thick black plume through the building's roof. The hallway pitch black, filling with toxic smoke. 63 officers sent to the hospital after breathing it in. And tonight we are learning more about Ghazali, a naturalized U.S. citizen from Lebanon. He recently posted on social media that several of his relatives were killed in an Israeli airstrike last week.
Yesterday's attack was anti-Semitism. It was hate, plain and simple. We will fight this ancient and rampant evil. We will stand together as we do it, and we will call it out.
Tonight, the community grateful that no members of the congregation were hurt in the attack, especially none of the 140 little kids there for preschool. Mallory and Zachary Grant's 19-month-old daughter, Barbara, was asleep in her classroom 30 yards from where the truck slammed into the synagogue.
The 2 daycare rooms are right next to that entrance, and those are the only 2 classrooms that are in that area.
So this was literally very close.
Very close, yeah.
Is lucky a word to describe how you feel?
Just miraculous.
Yeah.
Just nothing short of just a pure miracle.
And we spoke to the rabbi here who says those quick-acting security guards are heroes. He says everyone here trained for an attack like this, and they all did exactly what they were supposed to do to save lives.
Alex Perez with those new developments. We appreciate it. And there is news tonight about the deadly shooting at Old Dominion University. The suspect, a convicted ISIS supporter, released from prison early. And what we're now learning about how ROTC students took down the attacker. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, we're learning chilling new details about how a former National Guardsman who served time in prison for his ties to ISIS could launch a terror attack at Old Dominion University, killing a beloved ROTC instructor and wounding 2 students.
Come out the door now with your hands up and follow the instructions.
Overnight, agents raiding the home of the suspect, Mohammed Jallow, in Sterling, Virginia.
This is the FBI. We have a search warrant.
And today, the ATF charged a Virginia man with illegally selling Jallow a Glock 44 pistol. Jallow was barred from owning a gun after he was convicted of a felony for providing support to ISIS. What happened here in Constant Hall in the building behind me was a nightmare. A gunman walked in and moments later was firing away.
People were hiding in like the rooms. People were going on top of the parking garage, like hiding under the cars. Like it was insane.
The FBI says when Jallow opened fire, brave ROTC students jumped in and subdued him. Sources telling ABC News one of them fatally stabbed the suspect. Tonight, this tight-knit campus shaken.
I guess I'm still kind of tense. Like, even when I came back from the room at the time, my heart was like pounding.
Eddie Flack coming to pay respects to that ROTC instructor, his friend, Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Shaw.
Brandon, I love you, man. I miss you, and you don't deserve this, nor did anybody.
The suspect did have ties to the school. He had been taking online classes after being released from prison 3 years early in 2024. But tonight there are questions about how closely he was being monitored. His last contact with his probation officer was 4 months ago.
All right, Pierre Thomas for us tonight. Now to the war in Iran. The Pentagon confirming the deaths of 6 American service members killed when their refueling plane crashed in western Iraq. At least 13 American troops have died since the war began. The U.S. military investigating the cause of the crash, saying there were no survivors. Officials insisting the plane was not shot down. The U.S. now sending an additional 5,000 Marines and sailors to the Middle East. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell in the region tonight.
Tonight, new images of one of the 2 planes involved in a deadly crash of a U.S. refueling jet, killing all 6 American crew members. Officials say 2 KC-135 jets were over friendly airspace in western Iraq on a combat mission, when one went down for reasons that have yet to be explained. This one landing safely in Israel. Images obtained by CAN 11 showing damage to the tail section. An urgent investigation now underway. The Pentagon saying the crash was not due to hostile or friendly fire.
War is hell. War is chaos. And as we saw yesterday with the tragic crash of our KC-135 tanker, bad things can happen. American heroes, all of them.
In a further expansion of the war, the Pentagon tonight sending 5,000 Marines and sailors aboard 3 Navy amphibious ships to the Middle East. Officials stressing the deployment doesn't mean those Marines will be used as a ground force in Iran, but they do have that capability. And tonight, the U.S. announcing a $10 million bounty on the head of Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, and other top Iranian officials. Some of those officials seen on the streets of Tehran today, amid thousands of pro-regime supporters marking Quds Day in solidarity with the Palestinians. Iran's president, who's been targeted by US-Israeli strikes, seen walking in the crowd. Video showing an airstrike near the massive demonstration following an earlier warning from Israel. And with Iran waging war on the global oil supply, attacking oil tankers, and choking the critical Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil normally flows. Moments ago, President Trump saying the US unleashed one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East, claiming to have obliterated every military target on Iran's Karg Island. But the president saying he avoided targeting the island's critical oil infrastructure, warning Iran not to interfere with shipping in the strait.
But today we've had some very, very big hits, very powerful hits.
The US tonight vowing to get those dangerous shipping lanes reopened.
They are exercising sheer desperation in the Straits of Hormuz. Something we're dealing with, we have been dealing with it, and don't need to worry about it.
More than a dozen ships have been hit near Iran since the war began. Together with the blockade, global oil prices surging and gas prices rising in the US by more than 70 cents a gallon since the war began. Tonight, in an effort to stabilize the markets, the US now easing sanctions on Russian oil sales. That move coming just days after sources told ABC News Russia was providing intelligence to the Iranians to help them target American troops and ships in the region. And the president asked, when will the war be over?
When are you going to know when it's over?
When I feel it.
Okay.
I feel it in my bones.
Which, after urging the Iranian people to rise up and seize control of their destiny, tonight the president acknowledging the very real dangers from armed regime forces on the streets, saying it might be a big hurdle. Whit.
Another major concern in all of this. Ian Pannell again tonight. Thank you. Back here in the U.S., we're tracking back-to-back storms heading into the weekend. The system moving from Michigan to the northeast. Blizzard conditions up to a foot of snow in some areas. Winds gusting more than 60 miles per hour. Huge waves you can see here crashing over a pier on Lake Michigan. The second storm coming right behind this one and even stronger. Let's get right to WABC Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg. And Lee, time this out for us.
With two potent storms riding across the northern tier of the country, both bringing strong March winds. The first one bringing 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts. Chicago to Detroit, 600,000 customers without power in Ohio alone. High wind warnings remain in effect across the Great Lakes tonight. Snow from Michigan into New England. As you said, that next storm behind it is even stronger, coming out of the Rockies and the Plains Saturday night and Sunday. Parts of South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, strong winds over a foot of snow and blizzard conditions. Travel conditions could be impossible through Sunday morning. Then there's a severe side to the storm, a line of storms packing damaging winds and even isolated tornadoes. That's from Indianapolis to Memphis. That's going to move to the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast on Monday. Whit?
So many of these areas just can't catch a break. All right, Lee, thank you. Now to spring break travel heating up at America's airports. Many travelers seeing long lines at security checkpoints. TSA officers now going without paychecks, some lining up at airport food banks. Hundreds forced to quit their jobs. Here's ABC's Victor Okendo.
Tonight, the spring break travel crush underway, expected to be the busiest ever as millions fill airports across the country. Early this morning, security lines snaking outside the airport in Austin, Texas. The travel surge coming as 60,000 TSA officers are already feeling the squeeze, receiving their first $0 paycheck today, with funding still halted for the Department of Homeland Security with no end in sight.
Morale is low. Your bills are still going to keep coming, but you have no way to pay them.
To ease the burden, food pantries opening up from JFK to Seattle. Denver's airport accepting food and gas card donations for its TSA officers.
It hurts the pride when you have to go and stand in the line, to receive food and things when the only thing you've done is show up like you're supposed to.
Nearly a month into the shutdown, more than 300 TSA officers have quit. Call-outs more than doubling.
And tonight we saw flights divert from D.C. area airports, all because the facility that provides air traffic control to the area had to be evacuated due to a strong chemical smell. Operations resuming a short time ago. The FAA is investigating the cause of that smell.
Wow, another concern. Thank you, Victor. We appreciate it. Now to entertainment giant Live Nation under fire. The owner of Ticketmaster, newly released internal messages show two employees joking about gouging fans with additional fees, bragging about, quote, robbing them blind. How the company is now responding. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, growing backlash against ticketing giant Live Nation after two newly released internal messages showed two company employees mocking customers and joking about gouging fans with high fees. In Slack messages released as part of an antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation, Ticketmaster's parent company, the employees bragged about their ability to charge more for parking and ticket upgrades. One of them writing, "Robbing them blind, baby. That's how we do." In a separate exchange, the two employees, both regional ticketing directors at the time, making fun of customers. "These people are so stupid," one wrote. "I have VIP parking up to $250, LOL. The other replied, his colleague responding, "I almost feel bad taking advantage of them." Live Nation condemning the messages in a statement to ABC News, saying they're investigating the matter, adding the exchange from one junior staffer to a friend absolutely doesn't reflect our values. ABC News has reached out to both employees and have not heard back.
And with just this week, the DOJ and Live Nation reached a tentative $280 million settlement aimed at boosting competition for ticket sales and potentially lowering fees for fans. But look, more than 24 states are pushing back on this deal. They say it simply doesn't go far enough. Whit?
All right, something to watch. Morgan Norwood, our thanks to you. Tonight, Cuba's president confirming talks are underway with the Trump administration amid rising tensions with the U.S. Cuba facing a growing energy crisis over the administration's oil blockade out of Venezuela. Cubans facing prolonged blackouts. President Miguel Diaz-Canel says the two sides are trying to work out differences, but he says political changes in Cuba are not on the table. Next tonight, the district attorney dropping charges against a group of teenagers accused in the death of a beloved teacher killed during a prank gone wrong. One of the teens accidentally running over teacher Jason Hughes outside his home in Gainesville, Georgia. He slipped on wet ground as the students were making their getaway. Hughes' family calling for the charges to be dropped, saying he loved his students, he was in on the prank, and was looking forward to catching them in the act. His funeral is set for tomorrow. When we come back tonight, the latest development in the search for Nancy Guthrie. The cameras drawing the attention of investigators now. Dramatic moments as a boat gets consumed by flames, what a group of boaters noticed just in time. Billy Joel's daughter giving an update on her father's health while he battles a brain disorder. And countdown to the Oscars, the surprises in store for Hollywood's Golden Night. Next tonight, authorities are looking at newly recovered images in the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie. Sources tell ABC News the FBI accessed thumbnail images from motion-activated cameras at Guthrie's home in Tucson, Arizona. The sources say the cameras detected people in her yard in a time period before she was last seen and the day after when police arrived at the home. But the cameras did not capture anything the night of the abduction. Emergency crews rescue a group of tourists from a boat fire off the coast of Miami Beach. Raging flames, you can see here, thick black smoke engulfed the boat on Thursday. The boaters say they noticed a burning smell and flames and quickly flagged down an emergency rescue boat. Fire crews helped get everyone to safety. When we come back, Billy Joel's daughter giving an update on her father's health. To the Index now, Billy Joel's daughter sharing an update on her father's fight with a brain disorder. Alexa Ray Joel telling The Hollywood Reporter her dad is a fighter and doing great with his physical therapy, the condition affecting his balance, vision, and hearing. He appeared at Carnegie Hall in New York City last night, where he was honored for his life's work. When we come back, the countdown to Hollywood's biggest night. Finally tonight, we're inching closer to Hollywood's biggest night, a peek behind the scenes and history already made. Tonight, the countdown is on to the 98th Academy Awards this Sunday.
Let's rock and roll! Yeah. Let's go!
And the history already made.
Somebody take me!
The movie Sinners leading with a record 16 nominations, the most ever, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor for Michael B. Jordan, who plays twins.
Love you. Love you too. Be careful. I will.
Up against Leonardo DiCaprio for Best Actor in One Battle After Another.
Okay! Okay!
13 nominations for that movie, including Best Picture. Frankenstein, Sentimental Value, and Marty Supreme, all Best Picture nominees as well, each with 9 nominations. In the Best Actress category...
Hello.
What are you doing here?
Jessie Buckley could become the first ever Irish woman to win for her role in Hamnet, also nominated for Best Picture. And Emma Stone in Bugonia.
You shaved off my hair? Yes, we've shaved off your hair.
At 37 years old, Stone setting a record for the youngest woman ever to reach 7 Oscar nominations, beating out Meryl Streep by 1 year.
Could you show me that clip again?
This summer's blockbuster, Disney's Zootopia 2, nominated for Best Animated Feature.
We took an oath to make the world a better place.
Disney's highest-grossing animated film of all time.
Here we go.
And we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at the live performances. Taylor Swift's choreographer from her Eras tour, helping bring Sinners and K-pop Demon Hunters to life on stage for Best Original Score and Song. Can't wait. Catch the Oscars this Sunday right here on ABC and Hulu. And I'll be live from the red carpet all weekend with GMA. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Whit Johnson in Los Angeles. Have a great night.
David Muir, the most trusted anchor in America, the most watched anchor in America. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir the #1 newscast in America.